Hey, this is Chad for Different Skill, bringing you a deck profile for my Weiß Schwarz, not my deck, but my friend's deck. We went to Port Coquitlam and we played in, oh crap. Well, it's not a Chan video without me screwing something up. Everyone knows that, so don't worry about it, guys. It's gonna take a sec. Gotta find out where these cards used to be. This, I believe. Okay. Oh crap! Come on. There's a divider in here somewhere. I know that's what's messing this up. Where'd the divider go? What the what? Okay, okay. Magically the divider is now missing. Interesting. I'm sure it'll pop up somewhere sometime. Alright, so this is the deck I used for the tournament, and it is Madoka, if the sleeves did not already give it away. And I took first place. Yay for me. I'm not actually gonna rip on people, but like people at Poco seem to dislike me a little. I don't know why. Probably because that one time when I got first playing Noise, people were like, "Oh, he's playing an autopilot piece of deck," and I didn't say, you know, the other word because it's, you know, not kid friendly and whatnot. Oh, there's a divider. Found it. It's right here. And whatnot. So I made the argument like, all right, so show me a skill-based deck, and no one could show me a skill-based deck. So I'm like, all right, guys, you guys win. I'm a non-skill player, and I played a legitimate skill-based deck, considering every deck. It's about the same in ways. Anywho, that's a different argument, different rant. Not for today, because today, for all you happy waste players, there will be 1 deck profile and 5 tournament games, because luckily all my opponents allowed me to film the game and whatnot. So yeah, and hope you guys enjoy, and I'll move right on to the deck profile. Yeah, this is definitely not my deck, because I would definitely not shell out this much money for a deck like this. So first of all, we have 4 gates. Gates are very good, yeah. If you guys know anything about waste, gates mean that if you trigger this card during your, I don't know what it's called. I really don't know what it's called. Is it trigger check? I think it is still called a trigger check. You get to salvage a free card from your graveyard that is a character, also known as a creature or a monster or a unit or a ZX, depending on what you're playing. And plus 1,000 plus 1 soul to your whole field. So very useful and whatnot. There's no climax combos in this deck, so the gates and the other 2k1, which is this trigger, are basically just for the triggers. Plus 2 soul trigger, and it's a plus 2,000 plus 1 soul, draw a card to 1 unit. Very very useful effect, considering it's a break even. Normally playing climax would cost you 1 card in your hand, which would be the climax, but this one refills the card in your hand. The unfortunate side is that if you are holding a lot of 2k1s, also this is what we call 2k1, plus 2k plus 1 soul plus draw a card. It's like some people call it 2k11, but we just generally here call it 2k1. And one problem is you can draw into more, but I wouldn't say that drawing is a downside. It just happens sometimes. So don't let that deter you from using 2k1. So that's the 8 climaxes I'm playing, or my friend gave to me to use. Next we have 2 of this funny looking cube. What he does is that if he's in the front row, he gives the card in your center stage clock encore. As long as he has to be in the front row though. I never really use this card. Normally I just clocked it. I don't think this card is very good, but my friend was trying it, so what better way to let me try it, I guess, you could say. And so moving on, I think he's planning on taking these out because I told him to in the car and whatnot. So moving along, I am playing 2 of these, I believe. Yes, I can't believe you're only playing 2 of these. This cube, when you play it, you add the top card of your deck. Under this card is a marker. Marker is an unknown card, so it would look like this. You just go like slide it under it. The marker is used to do stuff, and I'll explain that later. And the marker is unknown to you and your opponent. So this card gives global 500 to all magic traits, and if you use a change ability, where you take a card from a lower level and you change it to a higher level card that it states on the card, you can use the marker instead of paying stock. Now I have never actually used that to resolve any effect before. I think mainly it's for the global 500, which is really good in the early game, so, and really good in the later games too. And let's be honest, global is always better than in front. So very good card. I believe there are 3 of these ones. Is it? Yep. Okay. 3 of this Madoka. If you have 2 or less other magic traits, so if you have this card and 2 other cards, this card is still 3.5. Any less, so if you have 0, 1, and 2, it's still 3.5. I kind of like the Kyoko better, but maybe that's just because I like Kyoko better. And not really because I'm not sure what my friend's reasoning is. Maybe it's because it's green and he needs green in his deck. But if it was my choice, to be honest, this one's pretty good. The Kyoko one I like better, probably just because I like Kyoko. But this card is probably still better, just because it does not hurt yourself if you really need to play it later and ram with it. So that's actually, I guess, more versatile. I believe there's 2 of. Oh, there's only 1. What? There's only 1 of these? That's insane. How do I keep opening that card? Oh, there is only 1. One of this Madoka. When this Madoka attacks, I give another unit plus 1,000 until the end of my opponent's turn. I got mixed up for these 2 in a couple of games, but it didn't. Yeah, don't worry about it. Anyone who notices will notice it and whatnot. So this card was very good though. I think he should replace the 2 Kyubes that give Clock Encore this card instead. So 3 of the Kyoko Bond. This card is MVP as always. I used to play this card in my deck, which was a more budget version, but this card is, when you play it, you may bond, which is pay 1 stock, and salvage from your graveyard a specific Sayaka, which is this Sayaka. Nice cut, Chan. Good job. Yeah, good job. So it's that Sayaka, and it gives specifically. Come on, let's do that again. Watch out. Could be a scrub. It gives specifically this Sayaka plus 1,000 globally. So there's a lot of global boost. When you, in your grade 1 or level 1, you can have like 107.5s, which is amazing, and basically you can ride that for until you get to grade. I keep saying grade because I'm just playing too many games right now. Get to level 3. Normally I did not actually play level 2s. I don't think there's level 2s in this deck at all. I think it just goes from 0, 1, 3. The only level 2s I think is one of the brainstorm, the refresh level 2, and the level support change, and we'll go through that later. So this card is very good. If you're playing Madoka and you're playing red and blue, or even just blue, I would definitely suggest using these. These are really stock efficient. In fact, it was so stock efficient that some games I had too much stock. I had like 15 stock some games. Like some games I just had ridiculous amounts of stock and I could never pay out my climaxes, but it was okay because the amount of stock I had was so much that it kind of compressed the deck for it by itself. So I think there's 2 of these suicides, right? No, there's 3. Is there 4? No, just 3. 3 of this suicide. Suicide basically means that if this card is reversed by a level 0, you can reverse that card as well. So like you generally ram it into bigger things and they kill each other. Pretty useful, although not as good as I thought it would be, because let's be honest, the global 500 at level 0 plus like a 2k1 is basically invincible to any other level 0. But then again, you can say that for anything if you're adding a 2k1 to it. But overall, having like 4,000 power level 0s all around very good. 1 home row brainstorm, tap 2 magic trait. Mill 4 for each climax you have. Search your deck for a magic trait. I never used it. Let's be honest. I like it because if you really need to brainstorm, like if you know you're like out of climax cards, you can brainstorm. But overall, I didn't really use it very much, so it's okay. One of this one, it is this home row is a bond for the level support, which is for the change. So I never used this ever. So it's okay. I mean, if you guys don't know what the bond target is, it is this card. Let's see, it's this card, and this card changes into the ultimate Madoka, which is a healer level 3. So it's not bad, I guess. I mean, I never drew it, and if I drew it, I probably just put it in my clock because like I didn't know what it did. Normally, if I didn't know what the card did, I just didn't use it. just because I was kind of rusty with the deck. This card I had a lot of misconceptions with, because I asked someone and he told me a different effect, and I asked another guy and he told me a different effect, so I got really confused. But overall, I wouldn't say it impacted the game too much. But I know my friends are totally gonna flame me for this, because like they watch over like the videos already, because they're already uploaded. They're just on private until I'm done this. So yeah, it's gonna be up really soon. I'll probably upload this a while after my Vanguard tournament report. I don't know. But anyways, so from what I understand now, I got this confused a lot of times. The first time I thought this card was when you attack, you can reveal the top card of your deck. It was a magic trait you get to add to your hand, which I thought was insane. And actually, the game I used this on my opponent and did that, he was also a Madoka player, and he said nothing about it, so I thought it was right. Just because, like, you know, I just didn't know. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like, cheater! And whatnot, but it's okay, don't worry about it. Basically, it didn't change the game a lot. In fact, I triggered more climaxes due to this card than anything. So this card, its actual effect is supposedly when you play this card, you may look at the top card of your deck and choose to either put it to the waiting room, I think that's what it does. Don't hate. I can't read, and this is not like my deck. So I believe it's you look at the top card of your deck, and then you can choose to leave it on top or put it in the waiting room. And when you attack with this card, you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a magic trait, you add to your hand and discard a card. I think that's what it does. If it's not, don't hate. Okay, don't hate. Let's see. Oh, one counter, 1-1-0 1.5 counter. The reason why I after playing this deck, I looked through the deck and I realized there's only 2 counters in this whole deck that actually give power, and I found that really amazing. And then I realized my cards are so big that I don't think I'll ever need to counter. True story. So this came in handy one game where I had to counter to tie with a level 2 with my level 1s, so that was pretty good. 2 of these, never used it ever, didn't need it. 106.5, this card is reversed and immediately clock encores itself, like, and it's mandatory effect, so you have to take 1. This card, never used it, just put it in my level, put it in my clock, basically never used anything with it. And this is max rarity, it is a SR version, as you'll see a lot of these cards are max rarity. Very typical 4-1-0 5.5 Sayaka. Like I said, the bond target for the Kyoko, very good in a lot of situations and whatnot, so very, very good. So yeah, not much to say. You'll probably want 4 of this and 4 of the Kyoko if you are in those colors, so I definitely would run them. And if you're not, I would just play blue just for this, because I think this is Madoka's best level 1 game. Can you guys even see that deck? Yeah, you can, okay. Alright, let's see. One of these, 2-1 3k counter. Even though this is a yellow card, character counters can be played without having the color in your level or your clock, so that's very important. Just a solid 3k counter, you can salvage it. So I used this like once to beat something and then pay out a climax, or maybe I just used it to not beat something and then play out a climax. I think I did that just because I was so desperate to pay out the climax. I countered for not enough. Like, he attacked my level 0, I think, and I was about to like deck refresh, and I had to counter it just to get the extra climax into my deck. Even though some people might say it's not worth the compression because you learn. Anyways, I don't know. So yeah, I just played 1 of these. Okay, I know there's 2. Right? Yeah, there's 2 of these. 2-1 Salvage Event. You may salvage 2 magic trait and discard 1 card. That 1 card can be a climax, so this is actually very useful for thinning out your climaxes if you have like multiple in your hand. Otherwise, basically it's 2-1 salvage 1. At worst case scenario, it's salvage 1, because you can salvage 2 and discard 1. Like, if this is the only card in your hand, you can like play it, salvage 2, discard 1. So worst case scenario, it is just salvage 1. But overall, fixes your hand very well. I played this like once or twice. I didn't really need to, just because like the bonds are so. I feel the bonds are fairly consistent, and anything you need, you'll probably already have. So, which is kind of crazy, in my opinion. Apparently this is the disco home. Actually, I don't think this is disco home run. Anywho, this card, I never used it. Every time I pick this card up, I'm like, I have no idea what this card does. Clock to draw. I think it's if you have 5 or less cards in your deck, you may play this card, and you get a free deck refresh, and everything gains 2,000, or just this card. I think it might be just this card, because everything sounds a bit crazy. I think that's what this card does. Never used it, so never had the problem. I believe there's 3 of these, right? Yeah. 3 level support. Level support is our way of saying plus 500 times level 2 in front. We call those level supports. I'm not sure what they call it elsewhere. They might call them level assist or whatever. I think the proper term is level assist, but we call it level support. And if it's like the assist support, like time 500 times number of assist 2 in front, we call those assist support. So whatever, it's kind of just terminology in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about, which might be the case for some of the newer players, because Weiß is actually starting in English, so some people might want to start playing it, and you know, why not listen to Chan, I guess. So it also has a draw phase change. So at the beginning of a draw phase, before you draw, you can send this card to the waiting room, pay 1 stock. I can't believe it costs 1 stock. That's crazy. Most changes cost 2. Pay 1 stock and put in Ultimate Madoka onto the same place as this card used to be. Ultimate Madoka is this card, which is also max rarity. So yeah, I'll go through that in a bit. So, very good. Carry on. I believe there's 4 of these, I think, right? No, there's only 3, okay. My friend seems to not like running 4 of anything. Weird. 4 heal counter. This card is very neat, actually. This card, I'm not 100% sure on the rulings, but if you're, I'm 100% sure about this part. If your opponent front attacks you and then you use this card is sacrifice a Sayaka, put this card to memory, pay 1 stock as the cost implies, and you may add the top card of your clock to your hand, which effectively is heal 1 to hand, which is what we call heal. Instead, it's put the top card of your clock into your waiting room and whatnot. So we call this heal to hand. 2 cost. Level 2, 1 cost, 1 stock. Oh god, it's so hard. I'm just playing way too many games. I'm getting so confused right now. Okay, so level 2 counter. Let's go with that. It's an event counter, so you can play it on your turn and on your opponent's turn when they front attack. First, pay 1 stock, sacrifice Sayaka, add this to memory, this card to memory, heal the top card of your heal to hand. So take the top card of your clock, add it to your hand. There we go. And a neat trick is that if your opponent front attacks your Sayaka and you use this, and then the Sayaka is off the field, it still counts as an attack that is not a direct. It is still a front attack that's not a direct attack, even though there's nothing there anymore. So you can't make them overswing with it, but it basically lowers their soul output by 1. Effectively, it's -1 soul with the chance to cancel. So, very good. I would say that I use this a lot actually, because I held on to some of these because of how I used to play my old deck. Overall, I didn't really need to use too many. It kind of did save me 1 game, so very useful for that. 3, I believe, Ultimate Madoka. So when she comes into play, you may heal 1. This one is heal to graveyard, not heal to hand. I honestly do not know what her other effect is. I believe it's a climax combo, but I never did that. Effectively, it's just a generic level 3 healer, I believe. Max rarity, once again, SR version, triple R versions. And 4 signed Sayakas. Yes, my friend is crazy, but it's okay. Sayaka is amazing. First of all, it's level 3, 2 cost 10k. Gains plus 500 for each other magic trait, so effectively it's always 12k. And when it dies, it goes to memory, or when it gets reversed, it immediately gets sent to memory. Ooh, lots of people say, this is a downside, now you can't salvage it. But then you do realize it's called free compression, right? Your level 3 compresses your deck for it. Also heals on play, by the way. I know, it's crazy. Generally, you'll have this card at like 14k with like a level support and a global 500. And yeah, that's the deck profile. So, videos will be coming out shortly. And hope you guys enjoyed this. For all those new players playing Weiß, I encourage it. Because if you're an anime fan, Weiß is definitely the game for you. You can play a game even though you don't like the mechanic, but you like anime, and you'll do it. Like, Weiß is, in my opinion, because I'm not an anime fan, no haters please, I would say that I don't like the game very much, but I will play it, but I don't like the game that much. Simply because this game is based off like your fan base. So like if you really like Madoka, you will play Madoka and be happy every time you play the deck. But like I thought Madoka was okay. I liked it. Kind of hate this character though, but she's OP, so I have to play her. So yeah, all in all, for those of you who want to play Weiß, thumbs up from Chan. Go do it. For those of you who want to learn more about Weiß, you can comment down below, and maybe I'll grab up some people and we can do like more in-depth tutorial about strategies and whatnot. So I'll see you guys later, and bye. Rate, comment, subscribe.